manifestation of God, that is called the theophany of God, upon the mountains as cloud and fire stopped. Why? Because the man of the glory had died. Moses died and died with the manifestations of God to the people of Israel. So it was because of one man that God manifested himself unto the people of Israel through fire and through the cloud. When he died, that manifestation stopped. It is not about the entire congregation. It is just about one man. God is looking for just one man. A Moses-like figure, just one man. A man who set himself apart to have a dwelling within the Mishkan of God. And through that one man, God showed himself unto his people. I pray that may God raise men like that here. May God raise men whose focus will be on God, men whose focus will be to dwell within the Mishkan, men whose focus will be to show and to demonstrate the power of God, men whose focus will be to encounter the glory, men who are destined to know no one but God. To know no one but God. Anytime he visited the inner court, because Moses had a cave, Moses had a dwelling there. Ask yourself, do I have a cave in God? Do I have a place that I resort to meet with my God, to interface with my God, to intimate with my God? It has to be a habitat, a place that you dwell. You need to dwell within the Mishkan in order to produce the level of power that is expected of you as a believer. Men who demonstrate the power, they are men of the Mishkan. Men who demonstrate the power are men of the secret place. They are men who command the presence. And in order to command the presence, you have to have a dwelling within the presence. Ezekiel chapter 44 verse 17. Men of glory are holy men. Men of glory are men of purity. The concept is called Kedusha. And Kedusha is the holiness of God. You cannot separate the Kedusha of God, the holiness of God, from his Shekinah. Both are indivisible concepts. You cannot separate the holiness of God from his presence. You cannot separate the holiness of God from his glory, because they are intertwined. When they enter the gates of the inner court, they are to wear linen clothes. They must not wear any woolen garment while ministering at the gates of the inner court or inside the temple. Men who are of the inner court, God says, when they minister, they should wear linen clothes. And these clothing were normally white. And it says that they must not wear any woolen garment. The reason is that the woolen garment produces sweat easily. And sweat is the product of the flesh. And when they enter into the inner court, there shouldn't be any molecule or iota of the flesh. So he says that they have to wear white garment, which is a symbol of purity and holiness. If you want to operate within that space, you have no choice than to be holy. That space is for.
Thank you for tuning in to today's message. If you want to stay connected with us, be sure to follow us on social media. You can find us on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube under Fountain Gate Chapel, Croydon. You can also find us on Insta under Fountain Gate Word Pastures. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, where we will be posting some more inspiring content. Until next time, God bless you.